Narration. In the countryside, night always arrives early. The sun barely disappears behind the bamboo hedges when a cool breeze sets in and fireflies blink gently along the red dirt path. In a tin-roofed kitchen at the end of the village, two siblings huddle together at a rickety wooden table, their heads bent over a yellowed book. A tiny oil lamp, no larger than a teacup, flickers just enough light to ignite their eager eyes. Minh, 14, his hands sunburnt from helping his father harvest rice, carefully smooths the frayed edges of the pages, knowing deep inside that he's just found a treasure. The fifth-grade math textbook had been tossed beside a trash bin behind the school, its cover torn, spine warped, stains from rain all over. But to Minh, it gleamed like a hidden gem. He picked it up, wiped off the dust, and clutched it tightly to his chest. Back home, without even changing out of his sweaty shirt, he lit the lamp and called his 10-year-old sister Lan, bright as a baby bamboo shoot, over to begin unpacking this treasure chest of knowledge. "Minh, from now on, we've got a staircase to climb to the sky!" Lan giggled, her eyes sparkling. "Read it to me, but promise you won't read ahead without me." And so a promise was born, simple, rustic, but as steadfast as the final straw of the harvest. The two of them would grow and learn together. In the dark corner of the house, their parents could only afford a single can of kerosene. The village had electricity, but they didn't dare install a meter, afraid of the monthly bill. On skinny moonlit nights, silver beams slipped through the gaps in the roof tiles, falling onto pages turned pale like rice porridge. Traces of pencil from a former owner still lingered, crooked lines, but filled with warmth. Minh told his sister, "Each of these marks is like a handshake from a distant friend, sharing their knowledge with us." Lan sniffed the old paper, tapped her pencil softly on the table, and sang her words. "Lan, if this book is a boat, then we're sailing it to a land where rainbows grow." They drew up a nightly schedule under the glow of the oil lamp. 30 minutes for Minh to read, 30 minutes for Lan to practice her spelling, and both of them to discuss. After each lesson, Minh cut up cardboard from instant noodle boxes. Lan colored and drew diagrams of the water cycle, multiplication tables. Then they pinned them up on the bamboo wall, turning their tiny kitchen into a mini science fair. Lan liked folding paper boats, writing formulas on their sides like area of a square equals side plus side. She'd launch them into a basin of rainwater in front of the house, murmuring, "This knowledge boat will carry us across the river of poverty." Minh smiled, tapping her nose. "That formula also has a fancy name, side squared little teacher." Day by day, the old book became their sunflower, always turning toward the light. Minh patched torn pages with tape. Lan retraced the faded text. They protected it like a priceless heirloom. But real life isn't just lit by oil lamps. It holds storms and ridicule too. One early autumn morning, Minh arrived at school, sweat still clinging to his shirt. Classmates sneered and pointed at his tattered book. "Class Minh, reading trash books again? Your family's poor. Just farm and forget school." The words stung. That night, Minh nearly folded the book shut and turned off the lamp. But Lan sat quietly nearby, eyes watching her brother's shadow on the wall. Then she flipped to the final page and read aloud a faded quote. "Those who sow letters with empty hands may still build empires with books." The sentence echoed in the silence, rekindling Minh's spirit. He stood, gripped his sister's shoulders light, and carved 4 math operations into a scrap of wood. Spell effort, multiply hope, share knowledge, subtract doubt. The next morning, he tucked that piece of wood into his shirt pocket. Doubt was subtracted, confidence added. Then came the 3rd year's monsoon season. Muddy river water overflowed into the village, flooding homes. Minh's house, in a low-lying area, was the first to soak. As their parents scrambled to save bags of rice, Minh clutched the book as Lan grabbed the oil lamp, and together they climbed to the attic, trembling. Lan, cradling the book in a plastic bag, wept. "Lan, what if the book gets soaked?" Minh bit his lip, placing his hand on her shoulder. "Then I'll copy every word by hand. Fires may die out, but we'll relight the embers. No flood can ever wash away knowledge." 3 days later, the water receded. The house was full of mud, the rice moldy, but Sunflower was still dry and intact. The village whispered in awe. They left the money, but saved the book. Adults gaped. Kids stared wide-eyed. Minh simply smiled, cleaned off the mud from the cover, and treasured it even more. A turning point came when Miss Hien, a young teacher with a clear, kind voice, managed to gather a box of donated books and started a mobile library. She appointed Minh and Lan as honorary librarians. It was their first time seeing so many books: Fun Physics, Hearts of Gold, English for Kids. Minh touched the spines reverently, eyes shining like a child at a festival. But he put them back, letting other kids read first. Miss Hien was moved. Letting others read first, that's the biggest lesson of the day. From then on, after school, Minh and Lan helped organize the library, label the books, and sort shelves. They taught themselves English by sticking little flags on their notebooks, writing book, pencil, dream. Their dreams were beginning to speak a new language. Time passed. Minh took the district-level math exam, solving a problem about the arc of a bird's flight. Remembering his banana leaf parabolas, he confidently sketched the solution and scored the only perfect 10 in the district. The same classmates who once laughed now murmured, "Can I borrow your trash book too?" Minh brought them home and showed how to draw circles using a string tied to a nail in the dirt yard. Laughter echoed across the field. One kid whispered, "From now on, I'll keep my books clean." Minh knew seeds of sharing had sprouted. Lan, too, shone. She wrote a story titled The Noodlebox Boat about the book surviving a flood and submitted it to a national children's writing contest. Using a broken pencil, she signed her name and won second prize in the province. On stage, holding her certificate with trembling hands, she said, "Lan, I thank the old book for teaching me to dream and my brother for giving me light on rainy nights." The audience erupted in applause. That broken pencil was now more precious than gold. In his final year, Minh won a full scholarship to the provincial gifted high school. During his interview, the principal asked, "What book changed your life?" Minh told the story of Sunflower, its torn pages and tape, the night he carried it through a flood. The principal was silent, then asked, "Do you still have it?" Minh nodded. The principal smiled. "Then your foundation is stronger than stone." The door to the city swung wide open. Right before the bus departed, Lan slipped a note into Minh's hand. "Don't forget, there's still an oil lamp here waiting to hear your stories each harvest." Minh's eyes glistened. He placed the old book gently into his frayed suitcase, like a tiny soul from home. During school breaks, Minh returned, bringing physics notebooks and English stories. The siblings opened a backyard book club. A bamboo table, wooden board, and half-used chalk made a classroom. They organized reading circles, drawing sessions, origami boats. Lan invented alphabet Jenga with bamboo blocks. Each fallen piece required a kid to share something positive. The red dirt yard buzzed with excitement. Minh asked, "If you had only one book, what would you do with it?" A skinny boy replied, "I'd read it, then give it to a friend." Minh smiled. "That's how you double it." At the end of the term, they built a wooden bookshelf labeled The Community Treasure. A local TV crew covered the story. Letters came from across the country asking how to start libraries. In one shaky note, a Hmong girl named Mai wrote, "I want to share books with kids in my village. Can you help me?" Minh and Lan photocopied Sunflower, added 80 donated books, and wrote back, "We'll keep the original, but this copy is enough for you to start planting seeds." A year later, Mai sent a photo, hair tied in a bun, eyes shining, standing beside a bookshelf labeled Sunflower Steps. Lan framed the photo next to the old flood picture. Two parallel rows, both facing the sun. Years passed. Minh became a software engineer. Lan, a children's journalist. Together they launched a blog, Steps Between the Pages, each post featuring the now laminated original Sunflower book. Lan hosted a radio show called Books That Open Roads, her voice soft across the airwaves. Lan, dear listeners, today I'll continue the story of the book that braved a flood with two small children. In the studio, Lan always kept her broken pencil, wrapped in copper wire, in a tiny glass box. To her, that humble relic whispered, "The most beautiful stories often begin on the worn-out pages." Every spring, Minh drove a truck full of donated books back to his hometown, organizing a book festival. Children of every background gathered, breathing in the smell of fresh paper, listening to stories of Malala reading under gunfire, Lincoln studying by firelight, a duck herder turned doctor. Minh raised the original Sunflower book. "See, the book may be old, But our dreams are always new. When we read together, every page becomes young again. This morning, the sun streamed through the window of a small wooden house, casting light onto the faded brown cover. Sunflower still lay there, quiet but radiant. Minh returned to visit his parents, placing the book in the center of the table, letting sunlight reveal the faded ink. His father smiled, stroking his son's hair. The most beautiful page is the one you shared with someone else. His mother placed a hand on the old oil lamp and gently said, "Mother, oil burns for hours, but knowledge burns for a lifetime, my son." Minh looked around, realizing the sky wasn't far. It was right there, in that old kitchen, where words on worn pages had learned to fly. He gazed out the window. Green bamboo hedges, golden rice fields, and the red dirt path leading to the old school. Somewhere along that path, the sound of a child learning to read still echoed, the warm voice of a village teacher still lingering. Narration, dear listener, if all you have is a single worn-out book, don't shut it. Open it, read it aloud, then pass it on to the one beside you. The pages may be torn, the ink may have faded, but love for learning, when shared, will always shine bright and feel brand new. Minh and Lan had only one book, but from it, they wrote countless pages, in their hearts, in the dreams of mountain children, and perhaps even in your world right now. So are you ready to light your own oil lamp, open that first page, and share an old book with someone today?